News when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Nathan Hager.
And I'm Karen Moscow.
Karen, we begin with a widening war in the Middle East. Iran-backed Houthi militants have claimed their first attack on commercial shipping in months, targeting 2 Saudi Arabian oil tankers in the Red Sea. It comes after the U.S. carried out a 12th straight night of attacks on Iran's military sites. President Trump is not indicating he's ready to go back to the negotiating table.
They're not ready to make a deal because every time they make a deal, they want to change it and everything. They're not ready. They'll be ready very soon.
President Trump spoke at a rally in Marietta, Georgia. We get more from Bloomberg Middle East managing editor Paul Wallace in Dubai.
Effectively, the Houthis have now opened a new front in the U.S.-Iran war. This comes about 3 days after the Houthis said effectively that they were going to attack ships calling at Saudi Arabian ports. And this is extremely worrying for not just the Saudi Arabians, but for the U.S. and its allies and the global oil market.
Bloomberg's Paul Wallace reports the Red Sea had emerged as a key workaround for oil exports, particularly for Saudi Arabia, with the Strait of Hormuz effectively shut down.
Well, Nathan, as the conflict appears to be escalating, the House has passed a $95 billion budget plan to keep the war going. It's part of a 2-step process that would let Republicans fast-track $73 billion for the war without Democratic votes and billions more in aid to farmers hit by tariff retaliation and war-related price increases. House Speaker Mike Johnson was able to unite Republicans behind the bill.
We continue to deliver for the people, and we're going to continue that streak all the way through the end of this year and into the next Congress.
House Speaker Mike Johnson spoke on Capitol Hill. No Democrats voted for the measure. Party leaders say they plan to make the vote a centerpiece of their campaign to retake the House in November.
Well, in the Senate, Karen, President Trump's top trade negotiator, Jamieson Greer, says the U.S. will remain intent on tariffs as the Trump administration prepares to replace the duties that the Supreme Court struck down. Bloomberg's Amy Morris reports from Washington.
U.S. Trade Representative Jamieson Greer told lawmakers that tariffs are here to stay even after the Supreme Court ruling because they'll find a way. Since the ruling, the president has already signed orders to impose a 50% tariff on Canadian goods. Plus, the administration has proposed 10% tariffs on more than 80 countries. U.S. Trade Representative Jamieson Greer.
The specific authorities this administration is using have changed, but the trade strategy has not. We are committed to continuing to use tariffs and to negotiate deals to support the reindustrialization of our economy, protect American workers, and increase their wages.
Lawmakers also grilled Greer on reimbursement of those tariffs for small businesses and American consumers. In Washington, Amy Morris, Bloomberg Radio.
All right, Amy, thank you. We turn to the markets now, where futures are lower following a couple of high-profile tech earnings. And we begin with Alphabet. Shares of the Google parent, they are down 3.5% in early trading. The company is raising its capital spending forecast to as much as $205 billion this year, and that's reigniting concerns about a lack of fiscal discipline in the race to dominate artificial intelligence. Tom Giles is Bloomberg's executive editor for technology.
We thought they were spending a lot before, and this quarter they came out and said, hold my beer, we're spending even more than we said. These are unprecedented numbers, hundreds of billions of dollars. They raised it to as much as $205 billion. It really speaks to the urgency of obtaining the chips and the infrastructure, the data centers that are needed to fulfill their AI ambitions.
That is the Google parent Alphabet. As far as earnings in the quarter, Bloomberg's Tom Giles says Google's cloud revenue totaled a better than expected $24.75 billion. That was up 82% from a year earlier.
And Karen, shares of Tesla are going in reverse as well this morning. They're down more than 5%. Profit tumbled despite a strong quarter for the automotive business. Spending on ambitious initiatives like robots and AI surged to $5.8 billion, and that resulted in Tesla's first cash burn in 2 years. The company still expects capital expenditures in excess of $25 billion this year. Here's CEO Elon Musk on the company conference call.
We should be spending on Capex as fast as we can spend, as fast as we can, without it being too wasteful. So we're not trying to aim for like some extremely high efficiency capital spend, because that would slow things down. So it's a balance between like how much sort of capital efficiency versus time.
And Tesla CEO Elon Musk also said he could not comment on a possible merger with his other company, SpaceX.
And that's news when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Karen Moscow.
I'm Nathan Hager, and this is Bloomberg.